Oh, hi there. Oh, hello. Oh, here we go. So we are, for the start of this video, this is day 5, but it's actually day 6, but we're doing 2 lives tonight, or this morning, depending on where you are. I'm just going to bring this up here. The sun is streaming in and it's extremely warm actually. Hi! I hope you've had a lovely day yesterday. I hope you've got a bit of sunshine today as well. It's absolutely boiling. It's very warm. But it's lovely. I'm not going to complain. It's lovely, lovely weather. Thank you so much, everybody, for bearing with me on Wednesday when I tried to go live and then realised it just wasn't going to be the time. I had some lovely messages. But yeah, it's just how it goes sometimes, isn't it? You got all caught up. That's amazing. I've still got to do my sky and my clouds. I'm going to save the sun for next week. But we're going to go with this little section here. That's amazing. Oh, please, please, please do share your hoops, where you're up to. I'd love to see them. If you tag me, it gives me a notification so I can share it onto my stories. I think for me to reshare it onto my stories, I think you have to, maybe I need to follow you, but I think you need to do your settings. But if you don't mind, you can send me a picture to like direct message and I can share your beautiful makes. Okay, let's get started. So we're going to go, if you remember last time, we were stitching along this little section here and we were going to do a little woven bit underneath. So we're going to have a little play around there. So choose whichever colours you like, depending on what you've used in the background. I've used some green there and orange. I've stuck with yellow and greens up here, so I might bring a little bit of this purple in. I'm going to just lay it across and see what I think of that. Because this purple's quite bright. I might not go with the purple. Let's have a look. Let's lay this across. Trying to find the end. Usually DMC have the end easily available. Now I'm going to go with let's have a look at this lovely pink. I'm going to go with the pink, so I want to bring the pink in on this section here. Or maybe a mix. Oh yes, let's go with those. Mix of the orange and the pinks. Hi Beck! Have you got gorgeous sunshine as well? It's absolutely beautiful. It's just streaming in. I might actually just pull the blind down a little bit. It shouldn't darken the screen too much. If you hear me clattering, it's because I'm stepping over. Let's see. As long as it doesn't block it too much. A little bit more. That just goes there, just so it's not shining right in my eyes and I can see the screen. Answer any questions as we go. Okay, so I'm going to use 6 strands again for this piece. I want quite a long bit because we're going to be weaving up and down and up and down. We want quite a long bit. Let's go right towards the end. So I like to pinch, pull to my elbow. I'm going to do that twice. And it probably will be too long, but I'd rather have this bit too long than not at all, not long enough. So here we go. I'm going to thread through. Sunny here, it's beautiful. Really, really beautiful today. Apparently, in the UK, we're going to be having sunshine next week as well, which will be gorgeous. I'm ready for the sun. I'm ready. Okay, so I'm going to start at this end here. I'm just going to run my needle towards the edge of the frame. You can see there where it's just pulling. I'm just going to come in line with the bottom of this line here. Okay, a little bit tight because we're right near the frame. I'm going to pull up and then I'm going to weave underneath these first 2. See that? Let's get that back in focus. This is a white, so it's an off-white. It's 3866 but I'm just going with like an off-white colour. So you could use the same colour that's up here if you wanted to. I have got a white here as well, so you can see the difference in these two colours. Where's that gone? Here. See the difference? It almost looks a bit cream. Can't really tell the difference that much. I've just picked this one up, but I wanted a lighter colour. So I'm going to go with this one. So we're going to go underneath the first 2 stitches, both of them together. I'm going to pull our thread through like this. Okay. We're just going to leave it. We don't want to pull it too tight. And then we're going to go back up and under these 2 here. Let me just bring that down so you can see. I'm not going to pull it too tight, so I want to have a little loop on there. A little twist. Okay, you can see I've just left a little loop. I'm going to come back down here and again make another little loop. So we're just playing around with a little bit of texture. And gentle pull. Okay, and then we're going to go back up this one, so it's almost wibbly wobbling throughout. I've got a real twist on my thread, so I'm going to come back out. I'm going to redo this because that twist is going to drive me mad. So if you're finding the same thing as well, I'm going to pull this back out before I get too far in, and I'm going to, let's pull you back up so you can see what I'm going to do here. I'm going to split my threads. I'm going to separate them all one at a time to get rid of those twists. I don't want it twisting back on itself, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to separate all 6 strands, smooth it down, get rid of the twist, and we're going to do it again on the next one. I'm just going to lie them together, get rid of the twists, and then we put them back together again. But in doing this, I'm just going to make sure we're not going to have twisty threads going through. There we go. So for those that saw my story last night, I had a beautiful hand embroidery workshop with a local WI group of ladies all came together, 14 altogether, 14 or 15 altogether, and it was so lovely to be teaching in person again. I just feel like I've got such a passion for teaching and getting other people excited, the oohs and the ahs of getting that French knot right and seeing everybody's designs come together is beautiful. I'm going to do a little blog on it this weekend and I'll share that on my website, but it was so good. Like, my cup was so full, like I just felt so kind of just happy when I got home. It was lovely. Really enjoyed it. Such a gorgeous group, so I'll share some of the pictures in a blog this weekend. And the ladies, they just did amazingly well. Some of them have never stitched before, and they just did so well with it. I think the biggest ooh and ah was the heat erasable pen. Couldn't believe it. You know how much, I know you do. Beck, do let me know if you're going to be joining our local one again, and I'll come down and have a little look at joining with you. Because there's so much that they do. They have a theatre section, they have a book club section, they do all sorts of things. You know, I'm a great believer in community and having, you know, your tribe of people and feeling a part of something. I just think it's so important. So here we are, that's much better. Not getting that twist. I'm going to pull that through and then I'm going to go up here. So it's a bit like whipping when we did the whip here, but we're going up and down on alternate sides. We're not constantly coming down underneath this way. And we're just having a play around. I don't even think there's a name for this one, but I just think it's quite pretty. Yes, please do check what they're up to, because I think it might just be my time to join. We had tea and we had biscuits and there was chatting It was so nice to see everybody sharing the stitches that they did, and when I was kind of helping other people, some people were having a chat and helping each other with the stitch. It was just gorgeous. It's lovely. Really, really lovely group. There we go. Oh, heat erasable pens, Emma, are just, these are the ones that I use here. Ooh, there we are. And they're just the best, aren't they? So they were great. I did have my, oh, it's not in here now. I did have my Bonin one yesterday, but I didn't realise when I went to show them the internal like chalk pen. It's like got refillable chalk pens that you put inside them had run out. But you can actually get, I got a Clover, a white heat erasable pen. And that's great, you know, for working on dark fabrics. Really good pen. And that is knocking about somewhere. Where it is, I have not got a clue. But I haven't transferred onto black or dark blue or any other coloured fabric recently. But if it doesn't show up soon, I might just buy another one, because I do think I'll use it when I find it. So long as the lid was on it. But I used to use a lot. Hi, McFreds. Well, I used to use a water erasable marker. Can you see that there? I'm doing that thing that the young ones do. You know, where they put the hand behind and go, can you see that? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Water erasable one. So it's like a little felt tip. And these are good. But I found that when I came to wash my design afterwards, which if you don't want to have to wash it, you know, I've had commissions before that I've had to wash. I've washed it, I've dried it, I've resealed it in the hoop, and then noticed it's been like a little bit of a blue tinge because it's not all washed away. So I'm not a huge fan of the water erasable pens. I do feel like they do have their place. If, for example, you're working on a quilted piece or you're working on some clothing, these are great because you're going to put them in the wash and it is all going to wash away. I also like to use a quilter's pencil. Those are really good, so it's got the chalk inside. Yeah, those are, oh, can you see that? I'm not very good at doing this thing that all the youngsters do. There we are. I need to get my kids to show me. So it says here, so Brandy says, I love having all the colours because I will trace the original pattern in one colour. Then if I make adjustments, that's amazing. Yeah, such a good idea. So I'm going to assume that you have got the Frixion pens. I've not got one here to hand. But the Frixion pens, the ones that are actually like this at the end. You know, like the nib is just like an inky pen. I'm assuming you've got the Frixion ones. I did have some Frixion heat erasable pens that were more like this end. And they were good, but I found they dried out very quickly. By the time I came to using all the colours, a lot of them have dried out. And I hadn't really had the lids off them. But I do like Frixion. And I do like the fact that with Frixion pens, you can recycle them, can't you? Because you just get the inner pen to put inside the actual outer case. So it does save a bit with the environment. But they're very expensive, Frixion pens. I think you have to really get them when you're getting a good deal. Because, you know, Cosy Lives and all that, they are more like your blue one. Yes, like this one. These ones. I mean, I could have got a dud batch because these do feel really nice to draw with. They are really nice. Let me show you on this one. It's just quite smooth. And it's a nice spot. And it's a nice bright mark as well. So you can really see it does stand up really well. And I think if you are washing the whole piece, I did some work, collaboration with a lovely small business local to me, lovely husband and wife team who were doing little jumpers, Christmas jumpers, and sewing children's names on in wool. And the pens were brilliant for that. Really, really good for that. Because you're going to put them in the wash. So you knew it was all going to be disappearing. You can see I've just got one thread here that keeps sticking up and it's driving me mad. So let me pull that back up. I'm always going to hold this because I don't want it to ping back through. Okay, there's the one. Okay. Let's bring my needle back to the fabric just to catch that one. But yeah, it'd be quite good actually, I think. There are more like your blue one. Yeah, I have the Frixion marker pen. I think I might try with another batch of them because the colours were lovely. And I do think, like you say, if you were going to use them on a piece like this and you wanted to go, well, I'm going to map out my colours now. I'm going to do this bit in green and this bit in red and this bit in yellow. They are great for separating the design. So I might try again, because I probably did just get a dud batch. Or maybe I hadn't realised, being the craft hoarder I am, just how long I'd had them for. Or the kids could have been using them and I didn't know. So that's another thing. I'm getting in a real tangle with my threads today. Let me stand this up, because if you find this as well, it's easy to see how I do it. I'm going to put this there to hold this loop, and I'm going to pull on the length and just get all of these threads in line. There we go. Beautiful. There we are. I can take that little needle out. I'm going to carry on. I'm nearly at the end now, and then I'll show you how to swap over with your other colour. You see, it's a little bit more tricky, so just take your time with this one, because you want to kind of make sure that all of these wiggles are the same height. And this hasn't really got a name. I was playing around and I just thought it looked really cool. And it's nice sometimes. I think embroidery is so free-flowing that you can have a good play around, can't you? There we are. Through that bottom one, and then we're going to knot it off at the back, because we're finished with this colour. I'm going to stitch down. I'm going to turn this over. It's quite low to the table today. I'm just going to turn it over like this. I want to make sure I'm just not pulling that too hard, because I don't want it to pull at the front. Yep. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to weave underneath there, because I think another knot might just pull on the tension. There we go. I'll give that a little snip. Isn't the back looking nice? I love looking at the back of the hoops. I was telling the ladies at the workshop last night about hashtag hoop butt. HOOPBUTT. Has anybody ever searched the hashtag on Instagram? Just make sure you're searching the right one, because with a name like that, anything could come up, couldn't it? So there we go. So I'm going to go with that one, then I'm going to swap my colours over again, and I'm going to go with a light orange. Let's go with this one. It's a nice peachy colour. And then we'll finish with the greens and the oranges here. So we're going to do exactly the same as we did before. I'm going to pull between my fingers to my elbow. I'm going to do that twice, so I've got a nice long length, because I don't want to run out on this section. Yes. Oh, Mel, remind me. What did I just ask then? Because you've replied yes, and I can't remember what I asked. My gosh. It's Friday, and I know I said to everybody, bring whatever drink you like, bring a cup of tea, bring a gin. I promise I have not had a gin. Okay, so we're going to go the same as we had before. We started up here, so on this one we're going to start at the bottom. Okay, now one thing I didn't do was separate my threads, so I'm going to do that now and smooth them, just so I get all those twists out. We saw last time it kept flicking back on itself, and I don't want that to happen. I want to keep this nice and smooth and nice and flat. The hashtag, yes, that was it. Thank you for reminding me. Oh my goodness, I think my mind's just, it's very much firmly on this stitching today. So today I'm going to be doing 2 lives. So I'm going to be live now. We'll go off. We'll have a 20-minute break, a toilet break, snack break, tea break, and then we'll come back and we'll do another 45 minutes because I miss Wednesday. It's been a real week this week. A real week. A very, very busy one. I think it's been back to school, so I think it's been a bit dysregulating. Just a lot going on. So yeah, we've actually, where we live, there was well, not even a house fire, it was a care home fire. very late on Monday night. It's quite scary really because it's very close to our house, so we had to evacuate, get the kids out, get the dogs out. All the neighbours were out. My husband decided, which is very rightly so, but very panic inducing, ran in to help the lady get the residents out, because like I say, it's a care home, so they needed some support. Let's pull that back down there. So I'm going to put my finger on just to make sure that doesn't fly out as we go under. Yeah, so it was quite traumatising, to be honest. We ended up with 7 fire engines on our street. The building is obviously empty now. The residents have been moved to another care home. I'm going to come back at the end and finish this bit here. But yeah, it was really, really scary, and we didn't get to sleep till about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, which isn't great on the first day back to school. So yeah, the week kind of started off on the wrong foot, to be honest. Okay, I'm just going to use both hands to wiggle underneath. I don't want to stitch through the threads. You're just really going to take your time. Want to use the end of your needle just to play around with those loops. It's very fiddly, but it looks so beautiful when it's done. It's worth it. Okay, so that one, don't worry about that one. The knots at the back, I think I've caught it. I'll go back through and change that afterwards. And as we go, we just want to make sure that we're keeping the cream one where the cream one sits. I'm going to jiggle about. I'm going to keep my finger on top. I'm going to give it a wiggle underneath. That's terrible, as you know. Yes, Beck, I do remember. So Beck's just saying there was a house fire on her street as well. How long ago was that? Was that a year or so ago? It's terrifying, isn't it? I don't think... You hear about fires and you see them on the news, but until it happens in such close proximity, you don't realise just how quickly a fire takes hold, you know. And I think it really shook us all up. And the neighbours as well, you know. But luckily everybody got out okay. There were 13 residents. Oh, was it October? Gosh, so that's not even that long ago. Yeah, it's terrifying. It really is, when you can see it taking hold, you know, and the flames were getting closer and closer to... We're next door but one to the care home. When the flames were getting closer and closer, you just think, oh my God, all it would take is just one of the cinders, you know, to land. So, yeah. And when you're trying to keep calm as well, but internally you just want to scream. You're trying to keep calm for the kids' sake. And everyone else's as well, you know, it's not great. So, yeah, so our week started off, yeah, not in the best way, to be honest. Okay, so here we are, back to the stitching. You can see here, I'm just taking my time. I'm going to hold on to those little loops as I pull through. I don't want the white to, or the cream should I say, to move too much. Give it a little pull through. There we are. Can you see those just twisting around? Let me zoom in so you can have a little look. Oh, it reminds me of peas and carrots, those colours. There we are. So you can see this one's popped up a little bit, so I'm going to pull that one down a bit. I'm going to hold it in place when I come down. I don't want my needle to catch it. And give it a little wiggle. Oops. Okay. I'm just going to adjust each stitch as we go. Using the end of your needle, really good tool to use to keep them nice and steady and keep the height on it that you want. Okay. And then I'm going to hold it. I'm going to go again underneath. I'll make this one the last one because I want to move on to the seed in here. There we go. What do we think of this one? I really like it. I think it's really pretty. And you can just fluff them up. If you wanted to, you could pull them in tight so they kind of hug the inner line. I like them like that. I think that looks really cute. I'm not calming the crisis. No. I felt like I was not going to be... it did not feel good. It did not feel good. But hellfires, yeah, they are rare. Yeah, we don't get many of them, do we? I mean, what does that one say? We are constantly worried about fires. I know, I saw that on the news. And it was just, yeah, absolutely terrifying. I felt so much for all the people affected, and like directly affected, but also the ones just worrying, and you know, the panic of not knowing if it was going to be your home. It's terrifying. And I'm not sure why they happen so much in California. Is there a reason why? Is it the heat there? Like, what would be the reason that you get them in California? And Becca said, house fires are rare here, meaning the UK. Most firefighters are busy with car fires. Yeah, crashes, people stuck in buildings, very true. California has terrible fires. I'm in Oklahoma, so it's not too bad. Peas, carrots and cauliflower. Yeah, talking about the stitching. That's so true. And moorland fires. Yeah, the moorland fires. It's because of the moss, isn't it, Beck? So where we live, we're up in the north. The moorlands has got like a thick moss, but the fires kind of get underneath it and they spread underneath. Am I right in saying that, Beck? Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, very terrifying, very terrifying. Okay, Brandy, I'll see you later. Bye, lovely ladies. I have to go and do work things, and I will have to rewatch. That's absolutely fine. And TMC Stone has written, it's dry and we get very strong winds, so it carries the fire. Yeah, it is. It's terrifying, isn't it? You just got to stay as safe as you can, because it is scary, isn't it? Okay, so we're going to work on this lovely bit here, and this is going to be our seed stitch. And for this one, because the stitches are quite small, we're going to split our thread. So we're just going to use 3 strands. Let's have a look and see if 3 strands will cover those lines. So just split them a little bit there. Yeah, they will do. So I'm going to go with 3 strands. And I'm going to go with pink and purple here. So where the 2 are together, I'm going to do 1 pink one and 1 purple. I'll just alternate as we go. So I'm going to thread my needle. And you can start wherever you want to. C-stitch is a lovely stitch, especially for covering small areas and just adding little bits of texture. Moss and peat and silly people dropping cigarettes, yeah. So it does. I mean, one of the summers we had heat waves, didn't we, Beck? And the fires, people were taking barbecues. Oh, you know, the ones that you can throw away barbecues. And it was just, you know, they were being warned, please do not do it. And I don't know, people just don't listen, do they? Okay, so C-stitch is sprinkling little stitches like this amongst an area. I love C-stitch. Okay. So each one, I'm going to do 1 pink and I'm going to do 1 purple. And you're just going to continue until all of this area is complete. It's a really simple stitch. It reminds me of, you know, when you bake a cake and then you have a little sugar strand sprinkles that you sprinkle on top. I love C-stitch. It reminds me of those. Really pretty. Or you can have them on ice creams, can't you? I love them on ice cream. So they're lovely quick stitches. So C-stitch, you can do 1 stitch or you can do 2 stitches together like this. You can make them longer, you can make them shorter, just depending on what you want the overall look to be like. Because this is a small area, we've gone with quite small ones, but you could do long ones. You could even, because it's not a Natalie Live if I don't go off on a tangent, but you could even do seed stitch with little beads. You sprinkle the beads on, so that it's not actually seed stitch because you are beading, but you can add little beads and sprinkle these on. That would be really cute. These ones are too long for that section. Can you imagine those sewn on? Be really pretty and very shiny as well. You could even add a bead onto your seed stitches here. It's quite small. Not sure whether you get the 3 strands through your beading needle, but you could always give it a try. So we're going to go like this. And if you notice here, I'm always doing the outer left seed stitch in pink. I don't know why, I've just decided to. My brain said that'd look really cool, so that's what we're doing. Okay, and we're going to stick with the bright colours for this section here. And we're going to stitch along here. I'll thread my purple so you can see what this looks like. And then I can finish the rest of this section at a later date. Okay, let's get purple, and we're going to get 3 strands again. Let's go with the light purple actually. This is a nice one, like a lilac. Yeah, go with this one. And again, we're going to split. Because it's right down the middle, you don't tend to get too much of a knot. Always best to separate them all singular. But we've done a good job with this one. It doesn't matter if it twists either, because you're stitching such small stitches, it won't matter if it twists. It'll just add a little bit of texture even if you do. I'm just going to pop the lid on these beads because that is a spill waiting to happen. Okay. So we're going to come up next to the pink ones and we're going to add small lilac stitches. Oh, so pretty. Oh, actually, let's see what this looks like if I do some lilac and some in a darker purple. Let's have a little look. Has anyone done seed stitching before? It's not one that you see very often in kits, but this weekend I've been having some thoughts about my next embroidery circle kit, and I think I might add some textural stitches. I think that'd be really cool. Okay, I'm going to do this one, and then I'm going to add, let's add the darker purple in, and then we've got a few colours going in there. And then I'm going to bring this lilac up here. Which way around were they going? So I'm ready to continue after. I'm going to go with this colour. A slightly darker purple. I'm going to split. Let's see what this looks like. There we go. Oh, pretty. I like that. So pink will be the dominant colour. Hello, Tori! Tori's just popped in. Tori is... I've missed her this week. Tori's been on holiday. And we do love a daily check-in. Daily stitch check-in, daily sourdough check-in, daily life check-in, and I've had to leave Tori alone so that Tori can enjoy her spring holiday. But she's back now, she's back with me. Incoming voice notes, Tori. I know that a lot of you know Tori because Tori was absolutely gorgeous and she shared this stitch along with you all. This is my first stitch along. And I have thoroughly enjoyed it. It has been so fulfilling for me. And we're not even near the end. It's so cool. Okay, so you can see the difference there when we add the 3 different colours. It's cute, isn't it? Hi, Tori. I've just got my starter out the fridge to bring it to room temperature and feed it and see what's happening with it. I'm hoping Tori has done hers. It has taken me almost twice as long to get my sourdough starter to the point that Tori's is at, and Tori's actually made a whole loaf of bread and she's been on holiday, and mine is just going, oh hey Nat, it's literally just risen. So I think my kitchen must be quite cool. I think, Tori, did you say don't make it all last out? Oh, do you know, you guys have been such a joy. I don't think I could do. It's been so lovely. It's been lovely and I've really enjoyed it. That blip on Wednesday night when I couldn't get on live actually did send me a little under. I was thinking it would be fine, but the lovely messages I had from you all was just, you're all gorgeous. Okay, I'm going to go in with some more of this lilac on this part here. And I think we're going to go with a split stitch. We haven't done a split stitch yet. just on this little line here, we'll have a little practice with split stitch and back up this way as well. Isn't that stitch long so gorgeous? Oh, I'm working on the next one and don't even know what to do. This is Tori. Tori is like her mind is so full of amazing ideas, and this is the problem. There are so many ideas. Tori's like such a genius when it comes to designing, and it's so nice being in the community, isn't it, Tori, where you can kind of lean on each other, you can have chats. It's so nice. I mean, Tori, we met, didn't we, on the gram? Do you think so? I try very hard not to talk at 1,000,000 miles an hour because I know that I do. But yeah, I just kind of say what pops into my mind, and whatever questions pop up. Tori did just say, I love your commentary, it's so soothing. I've never been told my Mancunian accent is soothing, but I'm going to take that. So here we are. We're going to go along this little line here, and we're going to go with a split stitch. So there's two ways really that you can do a split stitch. I kind of alternate depending on what mood I'm in. So I'm going to start with, let's put that right underneath so you can see, and not at an angle. I'm going to go with a stitch length about like that. Okay, I'm going to create that first stitch. Okay, and then this is one way that I kind of do it sometimes. I'm going to come up in the middle of that stitch and effectively split it. Oh, do you? I try, but I can never do it. My stars are chaos. I love the stars in there as well. I love the chaos though. I just think it's like the workshop last night, the in-person workshop. You know, I was kind of wandering around taking people's snips, and there was pen lids missing, and there was an ooh on one side of a French knot. I just think it's lovely. It's just the whole thing with chatting away and knowing that other people are kind of there as well. So there we are. So now I want to make sure that my stitch length is the same length as the one before. So I'm going to go down like this. Split stitch is not one of my absolute favourites. I love hand embroidery, but split stitch is not one of my favourites. It's one that I tend to avoid, and so I'm making myself do it because I think these must. Okay, so I'm going to come up and I'm going to split that stitch in the middle. I've just put hand cream on before the live and my hands are so slippery. Beck has said, I'm glad I'm in the land of the free. Is that? What does that mean, Beck? There we go. Land of the friendly. Friendly northerners. I think northerners are so friendly. We are. I just, you know, like just the other night when obviously back to the fire, just very briefly, everyone was just outside kind of helping each other out and checking in on each other. Just a friendly bunch, really. It's definitely gotten busier where people don't tend to know the neighbours as much. But you can be in the supermarket and stop and have a chat. And I just think it's nice, isn't it? I think life is so busy. Sometimes you've just got to stop. We're still in the place where when you go for a walk in the country, not even in the country, but we've got a lovely kind of park not far from us. You always kind of nod and say morning, or if you've got your dogs, you go, oh, what's your dog called? So everyone's really friendly, aren't they? How do you find it differs to the south, Beck? Do you find it's a little bit busier down south? There we are. So you can see I'm splitting stitches. I'm coming up in between and splitting them. And then coming back down on the line. I think one of the reasons that split stitch isn't one of my favourites is because I feel like it takes such a long time. Maybe I'm just a little bit more impatient. I like instant gratification with stitches. Like the French knots, like, oh, beautiful. There we go. It is nice for text though. And the other way I'll show you is to come up you think about it, you're going to split into the middle, So you want the length to be just slightly further away, so the stitch length is the same. As I'm in my spiritual home in the north, as Nat knows, I'm a southerner from near London. Yeah, I do, yeah. And your accent, it's a real mix. So Beck's accent's a real mix. Sometimes she'll sound quite northern. And then at other times you can really hear the southern twang. But I love accents. Accents are... Yeah, I love accents. When people... My favourite thing to do is voice note. Those of you who've had voice notes from me will know. Some people hate voice notes. So apologies if you ever have one from me. But I do love a voice note. And I love hearing people's accents as well. Okay, so then you're going to split down into that stitch there. And I think you can actually see the split a little bit clearer this way. Let's go again. I'm just going to move these strands over to the top because I'm working all on this bottom here. I don't want to get tangled up in there. No accent here. Oh, I am sure, Mel, I have heard an accent in those voice notes. And I think people always think, oh, I haven't really got an accent, but everyone's got an accent, haven't they? I love less accent. Yeah, so Beck has said, people here are more friendly in shops, bus stops, walks, neighbours. There is no difference in work. There's no difference in work. Is there not? It is nice. Yeah, you can stand at a bus stop and just have a random conversation. And I think I always tend to do that because when I had my twins and I was on maternity, there was a lot of days that I spent on my own. And I think that goes with a lot of people. A lot of people live on their own, whether you're working from home on your own. And sometimes you just never know when the last time somebody had like that conversation. So there were times that I'd be out with the twins. And although I saw my husband in the morning, he did work away down in London for 2 years, coming home at the weekends. And some days you didn't speak to another adult. And there's a lot more self-checkouts in the UK now at supermarkets, so you do miss people. But I would always go to a checkout and have a little chat. It just kind of fills your day a little bit, doesn't it? So Beck has said here, I say bath and Nat doesn't. I say bath. So if you were going to have a shower or you were going to have a bath. Whereas Beck is from London and she says, I'm going to have a bath, which I think sounds really posh. I think it sounds nice. We say bath, which is a bit flat, but... So there we are, there's split stitch. And as I say, it's not one of my favourites, so we're just going to stop there. But give it a try. If you don't see split stitch, you're very welcome to go with a back stitch. We're going to do some stem stitches here, just to fill in this little place. And then here, I've got some little lines coming down here. So I think let's mix some colours. We haven't done that yet, have we? I love to mix colours within my kits. And I've noticed we haven't mixed the colours here. Now, although I say mix, I'm going to stick with this colour palette for this section. So we've got the difference in the hills. And I'm going to split the colours. So I'm going to do a length of the pink and the purple. And then I'm going to split them. And I'm going to have, let's go with 2 of the pink and 2 of the purple. And then I'm going to put them together. You don't think bath is posh? I think it sounds really lovely. It sounds really posh. 2 of the purple. I'm going to set those to one side because we're using up all of the scraps. And 1 and 2 of the pink. And then we're going to line those up and rethread our needle. So I'm going to get a pink and then a purple. Purple then pink and purple and then pink. And this is a really nice way of playing around with your colours. We're going to go here, just straight stitches, pretty straight stitches, but mixing the colour threads. They'll come out in different ways, so you might get one where the purple's on the edge, one of the pink's on the edge, and then we can even give them a little twist as we lay them down. So let's have a look at these. I'm going to start at the top, just because I've done that row here, and then I'm going to finish at the bottom so I can see where I'm going into the fabric. So let's see which colours we get on top this way. Ooh, so we've got mainly pink and a little bit of purple sticking out. And then I'm going to come back up here. Emma. So Emma is a southerner here, living in North Lincolnshire. I'm someone who, say, takes a bath. Was shocked when I moved up and random people say morning to you. Not like that in Luton. People don't talk to each other, really. I think it's really sad. I can't imagine not having a random thing. I mean, in Manchester, you basically kind of walk past someone and you go, "You're right," which means, "Are you okay?" "You're right. Morning, love. How are you doing?" And you don't even kind of wait for an answer. It's just like, "How are you doing?" "All right." "Yeah." "How are you, love?" "Yeah, I'm good." Carry on going. That's when I'm really kind of in that chatty. The kids always say, "Do you know that person?" I'm like, "No, you're just saying good morning." It's really weird. But yeah, that's so funny. Neighbours don't chat here. No waves or anything. Oh my goodness. So when I see pictures of homes in the States, I always imagine they're quite set back from the road. So you have quite a wide road. Then you have a wide pavement, which I think you call a walkway. And then everyone seems to have like a long panel of grass, and then the house is set back. So in some of the houses in the UK, you don't have a front garden. Like your front door is on the pavement. Where we are, we've got a drive, so you would drive onto it, but it's only as deep as one car. But yeah, we kind of let on to neighbours. Let on is like saying hello. We let on to neighbours and say hi. It's nice. Sidewalk, yeah, sidewalk. Which makes sense, because I mean, what's a pavement? Pavement? I don't know what that kind of means. We just kind of say it. This is the funniest chat. Okay, front yard. Yeah, we have it. So we have got a front garden or front yard. So we say front garden. We've got a drive on that, so we've just got a path, really. So Beck would say path. I say path, which you walk up. And then in our back garden, we've got a back garden. And then we call the long one just on the other side, like the grassy garden, because it's like grassy. It's just like fascinating, isn't it? How people say different things. So here we are. You can see the colours just kind of coming through. Now we've mixed them. You're moving there. Come on over. We can have a cup of tea over the fence. In fact, our new neighbours have moved in, and they're a lovely Spanish couple, Spanish family. And there was a knock at the door last Friday morning, and path. Do you say path? Yeah, path. I'm just walking down the path. And I say, I'm just walking down the path. And the lovely family had made like this delicious, it was like a Spanish sweetbread. And then the week before, they'd made a Spanish tortilla it was my husband's birthday. But it's just so cool. Like, I'll make shortbread and just tap on the window and then go, "Hey, I've made some shortbread," and pass it over the fence. Oh, just cooking tea, but I'm enjoying listening to the chat. I'm trying to remember, you're northern, aren't you, Knitswift? So I think you say path and bath. But you're northern, but you're slightly to the left, aren't you, with me? So Brandy said, I went through a phase where I would only listen to British detective novels. That is so cool. Joe, I was telling the kids the other day about Columbo. So Columbo was like my absolute favourite, like 80s, 90s, a complete icon. I was telling them about the episode where the murderer had left their footprint outside the window, and it turned out that the blood sample was taken, but they were identical twins, so they couldn't tell which one of them had done it. But because there was a footprint outside the window, the twins didn't know that although they were identical, they had different toe and fingerprints. And I remember just like being a kid and going, oh my God, is that true? And then just being obsessed with checking my mum's fingerprints, my sister's fingerprints, my brother's, anyone's fingerprints. Can I have a look at yours? Yours looks so different to mine. But yeah, Columbo was so good. So good. So the British ones, we have got some really good crime dramas, police dramas up here, over in the UK. One of the good ones is Luther. Absolutely phenomenal. Although I did have nightmares for weeks after watching that. So there we are. Lovely mixing colours here. I'm going to bring this thread back up to the front so I can finish that later. I'm just going to keep an eye on the time. Okay. So Nick Swift has said, I'm Southern originally, but have lived up north and for the past 15 years, so my accent is a mess. And changes depend on who I'm talking to. That's so cool. My mum watches them on BritBox. Oh, Luther was so good. So good. Line of Duty is another one that is just amazing. Amazing. I love Line of Duty. What have I been watching recently? Happy Valley. Happy Valley is fantastic. That's another northern drama. And that was just, I think that got awards as well. She was absolutely fantastic in that one. Right, so I don't go over an hour. I'm going to come off. Feel free to go and have a little bit of a break. I'm going to come back in 10 minutes and then I'm going to carry on here with stem stitch. I'm going to move on to these two sections here. That's what we're going to do in the next 50 minutes. Okay, so I'll give you 5 minutes. Come back for more chats. Have a little break. Rest your fingers. Grab a brew. Grab a gin and tonic. Grab a wine. And I'll see you back here in 10 minutes. Okay?